So Elizabeth, of all the projects that you've worked on, is there one that stands out in your mind as one that has kind of defined your life or impacted your life more than the rest? I could look at me and say, if it weren't for growing pains in the beginning, I wouldn't have met my wife because she was on the show. Who knows if I had ever come to know the Lord? All of those things happened there, and that would be one I would never want to take out of the story. How about you?
I think that the one, truly, I think being, or look at a pivotal point. I think Survivor was a pivotal point just in my faith, because I sort of thought I had it figured out enough.
Yeah.
And I think when you are without your comforts, and though I knew it was finite, I went there really searching for what I was made of.
Yeah.
I had a comfortable, I'd gone to Boston College. I was studying. I was designing shoes for Puma. I had a cool job. Had great friends. My family was supportive. My mom had made it through breast cancer, which was the first real trial, I think, of our faith and testimony to just her prayerfulness during that time.
Yeah.
But I think Survivor was the first time I was without all my comforts, aside from food, which I do like. But I went there trying to figure out what I was made of, and I realized I'm not here for that. I'm here to figure out who made me and just have a better walk and closer walk with my Creator, and stop trying to figure out what I'm made of. Because the answer is, without God, nothing, not much, and so at all. And so I really felt like I actually wrote about Roger. I wrote to him the other day. He's over in Kentucky, and he's not far from us now in Nashville. And I said, Roger, I need you to know my survival item was a headdress, which is not practical or useful. It was just, I brought this headdress with scarves to remind me of who I was.
Yeah.
And I had a pink scarf, my mom's battle, knowing that nothing could be harder than that. Black and white to remind me of, decision making, let things be clear. I mean, I'm kind of, I had this colorful one to remind me of that I'm creative. And I was wearing this huge headdress all the time to actually send a message out to anyone who'd be with me who I was, and to myself, I know who I am. But the thing is, God is always asking us to take off all the things we put on and attach to ourselves and let Him define us. And when you put all that stuff on, you don't leave any room for His crown. And so what I realized there was, it's not me attaching all these definitions to myself over this space in my head. He's like, make some room, take that off, all the things for good or bad. It's not like they're bad things, but they're not your identity. And so my identity, I understood, was making room for the crown as a daughter of a king, and that Christ is my Savior is the only definition I need, and everything else might allow for location and vocation and what I'm dedicated to and what I'm passionate about, but it's not who I am. And so I think it was getting there and really being bare and away from all the things that I really kind of prove that I was, and just make room, make room for the crown. And that was pretty pivotal, I think, in my heart for the rest of what He was preparing me. I was about to so much more than the Australian Outback. Just wait till you get back,
That is so great. What a fantastic answer, and so helpful for people who are listening to you right now, because we live in an age right now where I think people are so desperately trying to discover who they are. They're trying to decide who they are. Their sense of identity is just it's at the very core of who we are, to know who we are, to know whose we are, to know why we're here, where are we going, what's the point of all of this, and wow, just say, I love that. You're saying, instead of attaching things to me, whether it's what I'm wearing, it's what I look like, it's what I do for a living, make room for the crown and say, no, you're a child of the King. Wow, that's awesome.